Okay. Hi, it's Computer Yana here. I'm gonna go to a website that I know has a lot of scrolling to do. This happens to be my blog. One day I was just scrolling through, yada, 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 and sometimes you want to scroll really fast. So here I was scrolling really fast, right? And if you look over here at the scroll, I think you'll notice what's happening. So I'm scrolling really fast, but do you see that weird jump thing that's happening? And all I'm literally doing is this. I looked at, and when I go like slower, it's okay. But when I'm like really going, it's like very unpleasant to look at. And especially when I'm going up, it's like also the same. So I was like, what the heck is going on? How do I fix this? Because this is really annoying. I got obsessed with it. I even started I opened up the mouse. I like blew on it. I used an air blowing thing to try to get rid of it. It was just, I was doing a lot. I was doing the most. I looked it up. I'm like, Mac, mouse, jump, scroll quickly. All of these things, I was going to every single page and then people are suggesting this smoothing thing. And I'm like, okay, I've tried a bunch of things at this point. I've blown it out. I've restarted computer, all the cookie cutter things that you do when things are broken. And so I was like, fine, I'll try this smooth scrolling thing that they were suggesting. The thing I found the most was this thing called Smooth Scroll, I think. So Smooth Scroll, great. Let me download it. Looks good. Exactly what I need. Great. So I downloaded it. And then I saw those beloved words that said trial. 21-day trial or something like that. And I'm like, ugh, come on. I know this is a fairly simple thing to make happen on the mouse. Why do I have to pay for this when I'm fixing something that should not even be happening in the first place? So I realized that it did a different thing. It just made the scroll smooth essentially. But either way, I did not want to pay for this. I did not think it was worth what it is. And it's also a subscription. I don't know. Just not about that. So then I was like, Smooth Scroll alternative. So then I saw this Reddit. I'm like, oh, okay, Smooth, a mouse enhancement app I developed. Ooh, cool, right? It's the dev posting on Reddit. Usually, maybe it's it's free or it's new, open source, whatever. So I'm like, okay, let me see. What's your thoughts on Carabiner? Maybe I could do it through Carabiner. I don't think I can, so I didn't look too much into that. I started scrolling. I was here and I'm like, Smooth has a 7 days trial. Trial, not again. So simple, why? Looking for alternatives. So then eventually I go back. I'm like, oh, this is too much. Why do these all have to be so complicated? I said, hey, I've already paid for Better Touch Tool. Better Touch Tool, it's an app. I paid for it. It's the old version, but it's so that I can do this snappy feature. And that's all I really use it for, even though I know it has more capabilities than that. I was like, okay, I already paid for this. Maybe there's something here. Hey, Andreas, any chance you could integrate Moss's smooth scrolling code? This is where it happened for me. I was like, what's this? And why does he want him to integrate it if this already exists? Whatever. Go to okay, a lightweight tool uses smooth scrolling and set scroll direction independently for your mouse on Mac OS. Sounds pretty much like Smooth Scroll, which is the parallel problem I was trying to solve now. I'm scrolling, oh, okay, can't really understand, but it does sound like what I want, so I'm just gonna do it. I'll install it through Brew. So here I am, Brew cask install Moss. So let me go into my terminal, and let's do it. Let's brew cask install Moss. So I was like, okay, this sounds pretty promising, even though I might not understand the language it's in. Let's try it. Okay, it's taken a while, but essentially, I'll let it do its thing. I'll fast forward into the future. I now have this app called Moss. Cool. What is Moss? I see this little icon here, preferences. Oh, interesting. We've got our general, which enables smooth scrolling, which is the thing that I wanted. We have our reverse scroll. We have our Okay, launch on login, other stuff, right? And I'm like, okay, sure. This is on now. Let's see what the scrolling is like now. Oh my gosh, how beautiful. Like when we go really fast, no jumpiness. Sure, it's still a bit glitchy, but it's a much better experience. And maybe I don't even need to go that fast because I can accelerate faster. Oh my goodness, this is beautiful. So I was in love. I'm like, oh my God, Moss, like you really did it for me. And then I go into Moss and I'm like, oh, reverse scroll. Wow, it even does that thing that I always have to do on the Mac every single time when I plug in my mouse. But now I don't have to do it because the trackpad and the mouse have different configurations. This is amazing. It was a 2-in-1. It's all the problem I didn't even expect it to solve. Moss. And then I'm like, okay, cool. But what about when I'm in the terminal and, oh, there we go, finally. Basically, you can define custom configurations for certain apps. So I remember I was in the terminal, I'm like, oh wait, I just want to scroll up a little bit. Like, I don't want this whole jumpy situation because I just want to go line by line, which is what it normally does. I can just turn smooth off for terminal, and now I am going line by line. That's so beautiful. And I turned it off for certain things like editing, Premiere Pro, reminders. I don't want to go so jumpy, but like on Chrome and everything like that, even on Finder, I don't want to go so jumpy. And I left it on. And so in addition to that, you can even configure the step, the speed, and the duration. So those are pretty obvious things. You can either inherit global settings or set your own, which I did set for some apps. And like, this is the advanced things. Like if I want to scroll like more per like tick, I can do that. And the animation you can even adjust. It's just so beautiful. I haven't even touched any of the other things, but after seeing this, I was like, Moss, you have got it right. Open source software, I love you. And how did I even find that? It was like a random link. This might have intimidated some, you know, because they don't know that this is an option for them. But oh my gosh, Moss, like, how did you do it? You're amazing. So yeah, naturally I started, and it inspired me to contribute more to open source because this was amazing. And I really appreciate you, Caldis, okay? And you 12 contributors, thank you. Thank you. Like anyone, we should link. Okay, I'm just joking. I don't want to like not support Smooth Scroll or Smooth or whatever, but I'm just saying there's open source alternatives and they are just as good, if not better. So don't be scared of open source. Contribute to open source. Thank you. Thank you for listening to me. And I'm so glad I found this as my favorite app. I would pay for it because I feel like it's that good. And I feel like because they gave it to me for free, now I want to give them money for it. You know what I mean? So thank you, Caldis. We love you. Bye. Let me know if you found any good GitHub gems and leave it in the comments. You know, just we're all for free software. We're also for paying for software that's really good. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye. Wanted to show you with my favorite new app, Moss, is that I was like kind of like editing the video in ScreenFlow, and I noticed like I don't want the smooth scroll to be on for there because I usually like zoom out and in of the timeline there. But look at this. Look at this beautiful thing. I go plus running applications, and it has all my apps here, of course, because you only notice that you want to turn it off when you have the app open. How sweet of them to allow for this easy finding of the app you want to disable for. They thought of everything. I love it.